Hi. So last week I posted my vlog in which I mentioned the phase of life which I'm going through right now and opened up to the new journey, restarting my journey of content creation. An interesting thing not happened. And a very interesting thing happened in that video. Later on, a guy came to my channel. I don't know how he found my video, but he commented on that video that भाई क्यों कर रहा है ये सब? Now I'm not getting offended on that comment because I'll come to that because later, but I want to answer that. Why am I doing this? Why am I creating content? The short and sweet answer is I want to be heard. I want to share my story. And I believe that my story is worth being told. Yes, that's it. That's the short answer to that. Now getting to the long one. Well, let me start why I went to the therapist. As I mentioned in my last video that last month my grandmother passed away and she had been bedridden and in a very bad condition for the last 2 months before her demise, more than 2 months. And the whole aura, the environment of my home was very upsetting, very uncomfortable, and none of us liked it. So that, like the situation, that was the breeding ground for my mental insecurities and all the insecurities I had previously in my mind, they got amplified in that period because I wasn't getting the chance to go out and hang out with my friends. I was eventually getting more and more lonely. So the first time I went to my therapist, I told her 5 things that these are the 5 things that I want to pay attention to, and these are the 5 things that I want to get solved. The first one was feeling unheard. I feel very unheard. I feel that no one wants to listen to me, and I'm not able to open up in front of anyone. Even if I want to, I just couldn't. When my grandmother passed away, I wanted to just hug a family member and cry my heart out. I was feeling so bad, but I just couldn't show the vulnerability. So that was one thing. Second thing was insecurities, all the insecurities that have been piling up in my mind and making me feel worse about myself. Third thing was overthinking. Basically, it was over-analyzing. I put that in the wrong word. Basically, I over-analyze everything. And since I am a meditator, I have grown my focus much more than an average person. And I am able to see the things about myself, my own emotions, my own feelings, in a way that an average person is not. Even I was not able to see myself the way I do right now, when I was not meditating and I was not spiritual. So that was one thing. I don't remember what was the fourth thing. Loneliness. Yeah, loneliness. I mentioned that I am very lonely. And I was in a very chronic stage of loneliness. There's a very good video about loneliness by this channel, Kurzgesagt. And the first line of the video is an iconic line that I love to say out. Everybody feels lonely from time to time. I know I'm not the Steve Taylor, the voice behind the Kurzgesagt, but I just love to recite that line. So yeah, everybody feels lonely from time to time, but in these days it has become much more chronic and people are feeling lonely much more often than it was normal until a few decades ago. So I was very much lonely. Even though surrounded by friends, I felt disconnected from everyone and everything. So that was thing. And the last and the most important thing that I figured out about myself was I had a very deep-rooted emotion of shame inside me. Now, what do I mean by shame? Let me give you an example. I recently heard in a TED talk, I don't remember the name of the woman speaker who told this. I just watched it on LinkedIn. I even shared it on my LinkedIn, reposted it. I don't know. I'll look at it and let you guys know. So, if I do a wrong action, it could be anything. But if if I'm aware that the action was not right, and if I feel bad about doing that action, that I did that action and that action was bad, this is guilt. Now, when I do that same action or maybe another action, but I feel bad, not just about the action, I feel that, hey, I did that action and that action was may or may not be bad, but I am bad. This is shame. So let me say it out again. If I did this action was bad, this is guilt. I did this action and I am bad. This is shame. And yes, everybody has this emotion inside them. Actually, it is biological. Nature gave us this emotion, but it is to different extent in different people. And it is very much deep-rooted in me for several reasons that I could not just discuss in this small vlog, which I will share eventually in my journey. But basically, yeah, because of how I used to be in my childhood, how it went, I had this very self-loathing emotion of shame, and I felt shameful about everything. And then I got spiritual. And spirituality, not because spirituality is bad itself, but because of my, I don't know, I should say misunderstandings or misconceptions, because I understood them then well, but I don't know where in between I went wrong. So because of spirituality, those things got even stronger. Now, how did that happen? See, I am aware of my emotions, and I said that I can see what I am feeling. So for example, if someone is just telling a story about themselves, and they are trying to prove themselves as a hero, right? That's what people do. People, whenever they engage in a conversation, they just try to prove themselves. They just try to feed their ego, their arrogance. So it is not bad, now that I have learned it, that it is not bad. But what I used to consider is that doing that act itself is very bad, because it increases our ego, it increases our arrogance, and being arrogant is bad. Now, because I meditate, I am able to see when I am actually giving food to my ego, when I am actually feeding it and making it even more bigger than it was before. And I feel bad about it. So spirituality basically is about acceptance, right? First you identify, first you become aware that this is and this is, whatever is, you become aware of it, and then you accept it. Yeah, this is. So what I was supposed to do, that for example, if my ego is rising, what I was supposed to do is, yes, ego is rising and I should be aware of it. But what I used to do is, until a few days ago, that see, my ego is rising. I am bad. And the shame increased. So basically what I used to do is, I felt bad for feeling good. I couldn't allow myself to feel good. And this was the state I was in. And it became more and more chronic. And there was this one line stuck in my head. This is also an interesting story where it came from. I'll tell this later. But there is this line I heard from a man who told that nobody is interested in listening to your story. And that, in fact, is true to a very high extent. You know, nobody's interested in listening to you, you whine about your life. Why would anyone want to do that? People are too busy thinking about themselves. But I took that too deeply, and I shut myself completely down. I stopped being open to anyone. I stopped sharing whatever I wanted to share with my friends. I stopped being vulnerable in front of them. And I just stopped venting completely. But when I stopped venting out, so you see what happened, on my emotions were just getting piled up. They were not getting out. And I was also getting trauma from outside, other people's trauma that was affecting me as well. And because of, I was spiritual, and I said that I was shameful of everything because I was spiritual, and I thought that I have to control my every emotion just to be spiritual. So I was not actually accepting what is, I was suppressing what can be. So I was supposed, if I get angry, I was supposed to just look at it and be aware of it, that see, I am getting angry, and eventually the anger would have passed away. But what I was doing is I was suppressing my anger. And I was doing this with every emotion, not just anger, but everyone, even happiness, even feeling confident about myself, even believing in myself. I believe that, see, I am feeling good about myself. I am increasing my arrogance. This is bad. I shouldn't do it. And I was suppressing my each and every emotion. And what just led to is all the energy that rose inside me because of the spiritual path I have been on, just got trapped inside with the trapped emotions, and that started wreaking havoc inside me. I wasn't even sure what I'm feeling right now, is it even real or not? If, for example, I am feeling bad now because of all this that I just told you, I was questioning whether I am even feeling bad, or this is just, this is not real. I don't have to feel this. This was the state I was in until a couple of days ago. And so that was basically it. These are the problems I went to my psychologist with, and I wanted to solve them. So coming back to the question, why am I doing this? Why क्यों share कर रहा है ये सब? Now I have started loving myself enough, and I know that why do people write autobiographies? Why do people write great books? Why do people do anything they do? Because they want to, and they have the right to, don't they? So I also have the right to tell my story. I also have the right to share something if I want to. And honestly, I am pretty knowledgeable. This may sound arrogant, but this is what I'm aiming for, because I am trying to love myself enough to let myself build my ego. So yeah, I am pretty knowledgeable. Basically, I am a god to the 8 years younger self, myself. Let me rephrase that. I am a god to my 8 years younger self. I have great physique. I can communicate fluently. I am good at dating. I know I have so much of technical knowledge. I have been a full stack Android developer, a full stack web developer. I have been a technical content writer. And now I'm starting a venture in the field of AI. So knowledge-wise, and these are just technical knowledge. I love evolution. I love psychology. I love philosophy. I'm a spiritual person. So yeah, I am a pretty big deal, and I need to tell this to myself so that I can be of any value to the rest of the world. So yeah, why am I doing this? I believe that what I say is worth being told and also worth being listened to. And I just want to feel heard. I'm not forcing anyone to come to me, sit in front of me, spend their time listening to me. I'm just doing what people do in front of their friends, but I'm just here doing in front of my camera. If someone is interested in listening to it, then they are welcome. If they are not, then it's okay. I'm getting to vent out. So, yep. क्यों कर रहा है भाई? इसीलिए कर रहा है. This is why I am creating my videos. This is actually a very interesting story about this. I started creating videos in 2021 when the Instagram Reels was just a new feature in Instagram. And at that time, I created only 3 to 4 videos, and they got an average of 4,000 views. That was my first time creating content. But then again, as I mentioned in my earlier videos, that I struggle with consistency. So at that time, I joined a job in my IT company and couldn't continue creating content. Then the next year in 2022, I was wanted to start creating content again. And at that time, I asked many of my friends that I'm starting to create content. Should I share who I am, what I do? Should I tell people my story so that they can relate to me? And the answers I got was that why would people be interested in listening to your story? First offer them value, and then after, like, you have offered them enough value, like great people, APJ Abdul Kalam and all those people. After that, maybe they will want to listen to my story. And such kind of beliefs have held me from growing for a very long time. So I am now breaking free from such beliefs. I'm just sharing my thoughts, my stories, my ideas on this, my personal channel. On this channel, I don't want consciously crave to offer a value to you. And the belief that I used to have that a piece of content needs to be extremely valuable to someone, or otherwise it shouldn't exist. And I just want to break that belief. I just want to be myself, as Gary Vee says. So on this channel, I'm just being myself. I'm just sharing my journey. I'm just recording my journey, basically. I'm documenting it because when I reach the top, I want to have a record of how I did it. So that is why, that is one of the reasons why I am creating content. So I'm just documenting it, just sharing it, just speaking it out loud. Just want to be heard. And if you want to listen, you're welcome. If you don't, then be the count. I don't really care much. If you really want some valuable content, I'll soon start creating content on my other channel, whose handle is Samarpit Srivastava Official. On that, I'll be sharing content about generative AI and communication, since I am a corporate trainer. So soon, I'll be starting to create content on AI as well as communication, and that would be pretty valuable too. But this channel is mine. I'll just speak whatever I feel like to do here. And yeah, I'll do it. See you.